Hello Libra, welcome back to Mind, Body and Heart Tower Therapy. I'm here to do the reading for April 2020. Okay, so for those of you that have been here before, I'm really sorry. This is a little bit embarrassing, but last month I completely jumped Libra and I didn't realize it. I realized it only this month quite late. Didn't make any sense to do it again. So here I am doing the reading for April now. that was really embarrassing. Sorry again. So this is a general reading for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. If it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, then it's not your reading. Don't stretch it or try to make it fit somehow. You know when it's your reading. You know if this fits to you. Trust that. Trust the intuition. Yeah, so also check out the readings for your other signs. What's your, I don't know, if Sun is your Libra, for example, check out your Moon reading and your Rising reading. Sometimes they can give a look, like a bigger picture to different aspects of ourselves. In certain moments, we need to hear, or certain aspects of ourselves need to hear certain messages. So yeah, suit yourself. If you feel the call, go for it. If not, then don't. Now, let's see what's going on with you, Libra. We're living quite remarkable times. I hope you're well. For all those that actually lost people, my deepest condolences. I hope that's not the case, but yeah, it's it's quite a time, isn't it? So you have the Eight of Pentacles as your current energy. The Four of Swords as your challenge. My goodness. The Four of Swords as challenge, I think, came up to almost each and every reading that I've done so far. Wow. Of course, I mean, like, Four of Swords is about being able to have a clear mind, be in a meditative state, take a rest, really relax. And I don't know how many of us can actually do that now with all what's going on in the world and all this madness. At the physical level, with just like having the whole world on hold and a pandemic going on, but also an energy level and the mind level, of course. The Knight of Swords is your focus. Now let's see what's your advice. Nine of Swords is your advice. And Temperance is your future energy. All right, bottom of the deck you have the World. Yes, beautiful. I'm going to pull out the clarifiers to get the whole picture. The World is well, the whole world goes through the world right now. It's an end of a chapter. It's a story that's it. That chapter's gone. We learned a lesson. We're moving on to the next chapter, whatever that is. Two of Wands with the Eight of Pentacles as your current energy. The Moon with the Four of Swords as your challenge. Yeah. Confusion, of course. Of course. Three of Wands as your focus. All right. Oh, wow. There's a lot here. We got a lot of advice, Libra. So, Six of Swords, Three of Cups, King of Swords, all your advice. Along with this Nine of Swords here. And future energy. The Fool with Temperance. Major Arcana, we're talking big here. And you have Ace of Pentacles with the World. How beautiful that is. Like, really. Yes, there's an ending. There's an ending of a chapter. There's something that You're letting go of something that you've learned, something that you've incorporated, and is not needed anymore for you. And you have the Ace of Pentacles as, the new opportunity that's coming in. There's a huge opportunity here for you. We could all learn from this as humanity. I mean, with what we're going through right now. Learning to look back, see, like the way she's looking back right now. Actually, she's got her eyes quite closed here, but her face is back and her body is like looking forward, and it looks like she's walking even though she's not. And you see, like looks like a portal. Like she now is looking back and see what she's learning, and naked as she is, which means vulnerability, which means opening to the divine, being able to receive like these deeper messages that maybe they were there all along, but maybe now you're open to receive them, and she looks like she's about to step through this doorway, this portal. And I see this portal here too, which is like entering the garden. You see, there's the wilderness out there. Somewhere far, there's the challenges, which is the mountains. And here in this garden, there's this gift from the divine on the table for you, popping up from the air. um and there's purity and there's passion with the red flowers in the back, and the flowers here. So you are called to step through this portal, whatever that portal means to you. We're gonna go a little bit deeper into this and see where this is going. But I think it's really beautiful, and it's nicely framed, that there's like a promise for a real opportunity in the physical world, something that can really help you unlock the next pattern, the next cycle, the next level of your personal growth and journey, an evolution of consciousness, because that's what pretty much we're doing, all of us. Eight of Pentacles with the Two of Wands as your current energy. Right, so Eight of Pentacles, yeah, there's hard work in here. And this hard work having to do with something that you like, and having to do, I think, with implementing your daily routines here. Maybe this is what you've been learning about. Learn it, and you've reached mastery to figure out, okay, how do you want to spend your days? What do you want to do with your time? What do you want to do with your energy? The people you want to have in your life, how much you want to interact with them, how much you want to, I don't know, the people that you feel like they don't belong there anymore, being able to say goodbye and thank you for the ride and so on. It was really perfecting your energy signature, in a sense, like how do you want to be in the world. And that comes also with like this Two of Wands tells me, in a sense, that you're coming into, again, feels like a portal. See, like these two wands create a portal, and he's holding the world, the whole world in his hand, gazing to a horizon, beautiful beach, and oh, nice. Looks like an island life. Anyway, he's in that space of taking a decision, the decision making process, where he understands that this decision changes his reality. It's big. Wherever this goes, it creates the reality that follows through, right? And I think that this whole daily routine thing and this time, whatever, however it is spent for you, whether you're actually working, still supermarkets, hospitals, or whatever calls people to work, or whether you're at home and work from home, or whether you're at home and not working, this is somehow a time for you to figure out exactly where do you want to put your energy in next, and how do you want to shape that. Because this chapter is over. Whatever you were doing before this, maybe you build up to it. This is an 8. It's close to an end of a cycle. This means perfecting your craft again. You built up to this moment where you are able to make that choice. And this too, there's always like an advice that comes with these cards, and the advice or the warning of this card is like, don't just choose anything that pops into your face right now. Take your time and choose what is it that's best for you. Put the work. Take your time with each and every task that you do, with any idea that you come by, and belief system that you're maybe reevaluating now, in order to assess the direction you want to go in, and go in the direction that really speaks to you from the heart, not just that what your logical mind says, this will probably be better, or things like that. So you're kind of designing the portal where you're going next now. Interesting phase. But yeah, with all this like mind racing and confusion and fear, it's maybe scary. We don't want to make decisions from a fear place, right? We want to make decisions when we're grounded, when we're connected, when we have where I don't know, where we're tapped into our intuition. And that seems to be challenging, having your mind clear, and to calm down your mind basically, and to access your intuition. Instead, you may be actually in freeze mode right now. You may be a little bit into that spot where you just don't want to step through this window of opportunity, whatever that window looks like to you, because you're terrified. Where is this going? What am I doing? What's happening with this world, for fuck's sake? Sorry. What's going on, And I can see this with your advice coming in already. That your mind is obviously like making up story after story after story, fear stories. There's definitely no easy to calm the mind in moments like this. I mean, I completely get it. And I get it for all of us. As I said, like these literally appear to, you can look back, I think most of the readings, if not all of them. And this fear is real. This fear is here. You can't, I mean, like, yeah, if you're in freeze mode, like, what the, you know, that mode of the nervous system where we get triggered and we feel that there's no direction or response. You gotta learn to work with it. You need to learn to, first of all, honor your fear, but come back into a very in a yourself being grounded, so you can take that decision and move forward, because there's gold waiting for you here. Knight of Swords with the Three of Wands as your focus. I think, like, yeah, focus. The Knight of Swords is expansive energy, and she's really expansive. Well, it's expansion of the mind. This is really your mind moving forward. And I think, like, what you need to look at is, what is it that you really want? What do you want to achieve? What is the next step? The Three of Wands is somebody who already took the decision, and it's in the early stages of implementing the project, whatever project that is. allow your mind to race in that direction instead of racing of what is it that it's not working, what is it that you're afraid of, worst case scenario and things like this. Try to understand what is the next step for you on your personal journey, what you would want it to be, how would you like the next step to look like, and also what is achievable for you right now. You have a lot of mind energy right now. I mean, like, come on, you're Libra, you have a lot of mind energy in general. You're air sign, right? One of the witty ones. So use all that energy to devise this next step. It will help you like visualize it in a sense. Well, it can be actual visualization if you work with that, meditation with visualizations. Otherwise, like, on a vision board, write it down, connect to it energetically, emotionally, but more importantly, mentally. Not necessarily to go out there and draw the whole picture of your whole future, because you don't need that now. You just need to take the next step. That's it, which is most likely going through this portal. Okay, so advice. You have all these fears. They're here. They're very challenging. They're freezing you. And your mind is like blowing out. You go, maybe you don't sleep well at night. You have all these like thoughts in the back of your mind, thoughts in the back of your mind, and you see like these thoughts are on the wall on this like black background, showing me that this is you in your subconscious or unconscious mind. Is something that you kind of shove off. These are fears that you're afraid to think. Whenever you feel like this thought comes out, maybe having to do with your life purpose, or having to do with the next step and the decisions that you need to make, because you are afraid of the unknown. You're afraid of this is going. You want like, oh, I don't want to think about that now, and you're kind of shoving it off and whatever. But nice, beautiful. Your advice is to acknowledge that this is happening, acknowledge that you've been pushing away certain things, and to take your time to really look at what is it that you're pushing away, what is it that you're shoving off in your subconscious, and allow yourself to make that mind journey that's taking you away from this place of fear. And like these people move away from here not because they want to go excited for a new journey, but more because they are, wherever they're leaving behind holds no kindness to them. And this may sound a little bit weird when I'm saying, okay, moving away from this space of fear. It's the way it goes is that the moment I finally accept that I'm not facing my fears, that I'm putting them away and they wake me up at night, and I'm finally take the decision of like, okay, I'm present with this. Here I am. I'm looking into my fears, and I am willing to be truly honest with myself and see what is that I'm running away from here. And this is what sets you free. You don't need to do more than that at this stage. It gives you a lot of clarity. And see, you may have actual support. You can join groups that struggle with same type of fears. You can join groups that like support groups, friends. If you have friends that you feel safe enough to open up to them with that, that's fantastic. If not, join groups such as I don't know, meditation groups or process groups of sorts, women group, men group, this kind of stuff, where you can actually share and communicate. The King of Swords is a master communicator, and he has a lot of mind clarity. He can see the big picture. Sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees, and we get scared at it's things that could actually be our allies if we learn to use them. This is how we work with fear. We really, really allow it, sit with it, feel it in the body, connect with understanding what that fear is trying to tell me, what's the wisdom, and let's see. And feeling it, letting it go. I mean, feeling it without, the moment we stop trying to push it away, it doesn't have so much power over us when we're really looking into the fear. The wisdom of the moon card is that the dog and the wolf are scaring the shit out of this tiny little creature that wants to get out of the water and take this long journey and pass through yet another portal. Look at these two towers. There's like gate after gate after gate in this reading, my love. So you really this is really stressing out. I've never noticed so many portals and gates for. Okay. So yeah, the wisdom of the moon card is that the what terrifies you can become your ally. These dogs and blah blah, wolf, dog, whatever, can become like the friends and protectors for this what is this, lobster, crab, um as if you make friends with them, but you need to take time to look into your fear and to connect with them, to make peace with them, to have the conversation, have the time, putting it into it, put energy into it. It's not easy, I know. I really know it's not easy. But see, this is like opening up this beautiful, beautiful new state, because it's the Fool. You have the world as what you're working with this month, and then you have the Fool in your future energy, which is like 0, which is the new cycle. So this is great. You want to go into this new cycle, and you can. The Fool doesn't fear the unknown. That's the thing. He trusts that the universe will provide everything that he needs, and he's super cool with whatever the universe has in plan with him. He's like having his flower there. He's enjoying the sun. He's got the dog here. Again, dogs. Dog. And the dog here plays the role of the protector. That's the thing. I love that it showed up here, and that, I don't know, I read it in this way this time. Because, see, if you take that leap of faith, you get your protector right next to you. Your fear comes here to protect you. That means, like, if you want to translate this in a much more but not grounded way, let's say, first of all, and also having the temperance here, which is like balancing and grounding and being like, tempering up your approach in life, or the way you see things and everything. But yeah, the more grounded understanding of this could be that, okay, so if I'm not running away from my fears and not trying to kind of shove them off because I don't want to think about it, because it's too scary, because it's painful, that's what gives power over us. That's what we starts driving us, because what we fear is what we avoid. But the moment we look at what we fear, we understand where that fear comes from, and it starts losing power over us. It actually can be, I have fear in my heart and I know what I'm afraid of, so I know what I can protect myself from, without letting it take over, without letting it freeze me. It is a process. It takes time, but it also takes the effort, and it also takes focus, being focused on what the next step is and visualizing the next step. You got what it takes with this Eight of Pentacles here. You've done a lot of work. So yeah, the next cycle, I think, includes being much more temperate in your approach in life. And maybe you've been struggling sometimes with weird reactions you may have had, or these fears that held you back. The temperance is enabling you to focus more on what's important, focusing on your heart, and I don't know, checking with your heart, learning that information from your deepest wisdom, and seeing the path clearly. You see the sun is right above of this path here, as the moon is beyond this one. The moon just illuminates tiny bit. It just shows us, like, a lot of shadows that we're terrified of, but here the sun is clear, the path is clear, and the fool is walking it. So that's a beautiful journey, my dear Libra. Go Libra. Let's see what's the wisdom of the heart from our dear Rumi. May be out of power soon on my phone, so if it just interrupts weirdly, that's what happened. I will pick it up later and put them together, just so you know. Okay, so from nothing to everything. Well, look at that. This looks like a very apocalyptic type of environment. Anyhow, let me see. This is number 16. Okay, so the poem from Rumi associated with this card says, "Oh, my friend, if you are longing to be written on, become a blank page." Oh yeah, become this blank page, the fool. Ha. All right, so let's see, what does this say? Damn, that's a long read. I will need to filter it up a little bit. So there are moments on the path of love that seem to focus on letting go. Letting go of identities. Yeah, with the world is definitely letting go of this chapter. Letting go of identities, of knowledge and certainty, of opinion, and even attempts to control. We may feel as though we are being stripped back to our core, and even then, perhaps further still. We may wonder if we can bear it. What shall, if at all, remain intact through these rigors? We may feel challenged every time we attempt to become something great, as though we are blocked by circumstances beyond our control. Again and again, it is as though a greater hand smacks our wrist the moment we try to take hold of something firmly, someone, anything that brings us certainty or inner stability. Such are the rigorous and such are the rigors at an advanced stage on the path. We meet this challenge when our soul is ready for it. Okay, This oracle comes with guidance for you. You are being asked to let go, to receive, to become empty, to be filled. This may mean letting go of attachment to a lover so you can receive genuine love. It may be of no longer holding on to a fantasy of your dream job, but of being guiding into your most soulful and successful vocation. It may mean letting go of wishes of your body or health to be other than it is, so you can simply get on with living each day, taking steps into wellness without thinking beyond one day at a time. That's so nice with these two steps, like one day at a time, one step at a time, not. Whew, nice. Sorry. Where was I? Ah? Okay. One day at a time. It is the divine paradox that when we are asked to surrender a story or fantasy, it is because reality is knocking at our door more often than not with the delivery of what we have been fantasizing about, this Ace of Pentacles. But in the best way for us. The human experience of this paradox is that you may feel you are giving up hope, that your fantasy is dying. It may be very painful and bring you much grief. But all that is dying is your attachment and opinion about how it must be. This needs to happen so you can stop dreaming and start living it. This is what is happening for you now. Do not fear any part of your process. Embrace it without expectation, with trust in your heart that the divine is simply guiding you from fantasy into fulfillment. That's exactly what's happening here. I mean, like, I think it's describing the cards perfectly. It's summarizing the cards perfectly. All right, my dear Libra, I hope this makes sense to you. You've got this. Seriously, like, There's so many supportive cards here. I know it's not little to ask to work with your fear and to look straight into your fear and to be present with it. Sometimes we need to work with the deepest fears, and they tend to have a lot of power over us. I think there was a story that I read in Pema Chodron's book When Things Fall Apart, that I don't know, Pema Chodron is a therapist and a Buddhist nun, and she has a gift of really explaining how to work with fear generally in a mindful way. And she was explaining that I don't think it was herself, maybe it was a friend of her or something like that, was dreaming every night that she's been chased by huge monsters. And I think that Pema Chandron gave her the advice like, why don't you stop at some point and just look back at them, see how they look like. And in the next dream the girl did that. Maybe it was to herself, I don't know. And maybe the girl, and then yeah, in one of the dreams the girl actually stopped and looked back, and the monsters that initially were like super big and scary basically became like weird looking, almost benign looking little monsters that more like stuffed toys rather than actual monsters. And that was the last time she actually had that dream in that way. I hope that makes sense to you in any way, this this example. But yeah, really good luck with this journey. It looks fantastic. The promise is big for something great here. You like it's living the dream. That's fantastic. You have what it takes, Libra. I'm right here with you. Sending lots of love. I hope this makes sense to you. If it does, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you here soon. I'm sure I will not forget your reading ever again.